Well, here we are, folks. It's the last door, day 24. As this is the out there paranormal group Alternative Advent, I thought perhaps I'd better touch on some ghost stories. Well, returned Scrooge, I have but to swallow this, and be for the rest of my days persecuted by a legion of goblins. All of my creatures humbug, I tell you, humbug! At this, the spirit raised a frightful cry, and shook its chain with such a dismal and appalling noise, that Scrooge held tight onto his chair to save himself from falling into a swoon. But how much greater was his horror, when the phantom, taken off the bandage around its head, as if it were too warm to wear indoors, its lower jaw dropped down upon its breast.
Just a short extract from a very well-known ghost story, A Christmas Carol by Charles Dickens, where we meet Ebenezer Scrooge, a man who is visited by 4 spirits on Christmas Eve. The ghost of his ex-partner, Jacob Morley, the ghost of Christmas past, the ghost of Christmas present, and the ghost of Christmas to come. In Victorian times, it was popular to tell ghost stories on Christmas Eve. It was a traditional thing where families and friends would gather around the fire, and one of them would take up the tale, telling a ghost story and frightening the living daylights out of his family and friends.
Dickens wrote more than one ghost story, along with lots of other authors at the time, like Sheridan Le Fanu and Elizabeth Gaskell. The stories were very popular. They were included in publications like All the Year Round, where for a mere twopence you could get a collection of various stories to tell your friends and family. Another great storyteller, more of the Edwardian period, was M.R. James. Now, James was very good at taking stories and putting them into a contemporary setting, rather than the more gothic tales that people were used to, and this made his stories all the more sinister and scary. Every Christmas Eve, he would gather a group of friends together, and he would regale them with his latest creation, and his stories stand the test of time. They are still perfectly readable these days, and there is a long list of them for you to enjoy. Sadly, the tradition of ghost storytelling at Christmas has fallen out of favour, and I really think it's something that we should bring back. What could be more fun than getting a group of friends round and sitting down, picking out a book and reading them something really scary? And so, we've come to the end of our Advent calendar for this year. We hope you have enjoyed the tales that we have shared, and we would just like to thank you for all the support that you've shown the group this year.
So, we wish you all a very Merry Christmas, and here's to seeing you again in the new year. Keep safe.
Don't have nightmares.
Do sleep well.
Good night.